It will turn into a major mining district because this project, the Twin Hills project, which we just completed our pre-feasibility on, and we are already busy doing the definitive study, which will come out in April next year, will demonstrate a large, long-life, low-cost, quality open-pit mining operation. So we have something very special, and the market hasn't quite caught up on that yet, or doesn't quite appreciate that yet, but it's only a question of time.
The Financial Survival Network. Now more than ever. The Financial Survival Network.
Welcome. This is Financial Survival Network. I'm your host, Kerry Lutz. We're sitting down with CEO Heye Daun. Heye, you are CEO of Osino Resources, a show sponsor. Osino is a Namibian mining company, gold mining company, that is moving forward rapidly towards gold production of its Twin Hills district. Heye, I'm so happy to have you back here. So much news has been coming out of Osino recently.
Yeah, thank you, Kerry. It's great to be back on your show. Thanks for your ongoing support. And yes, you're right. We've had a lot of news releases that came out. There's a lot of progress, a lot happening in the background, and obviously very keen to talk about that.
So I don't even know where to start, but let's start with first. You added nearly 1 million ounces to your resource, compliments of your Ondundu gold project acquisition, which was little more than a year ago. I mean, that's pretty substantial, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it's a real gem. It's misunderstood. It's underestimated. People don't really know what we have there. That million ounces at 1.1 gram or whatever it is, it's just a starter. We're actually drilling there right now. We're doing confirmatory work. We're doing some metallurgical work, etc. And I expect that will grow significantly as we go forward. So it's a very nice cherry on top of the Twin Hills project, which is obviously where our focus lies. Obviously.
And so now your resource is pretty close to 4 million ounces. When we talked with you, I think we did a webcast about 8 months ago, you were saying 3 million. How is 5 million within reach here?
Well, 5 million is definitely within reach. I can see it in front of me. We just got to drill the holes. But at the market, as you know, the market is dead at the moment. Whatever you do at the moment, no one cares. So we have to be more prudent with our financial position. And that's why we haven't done so much drilling, but we will start up again soon. And definitely, I can see in 2022. I think in the next year, I would expect us to add 500,000 to 1 million ounces. I think that's certainly possible.
So this is turning into a major mine and a major mining district.
Yes, absolutely. It is already a major gold district. It's got 3 million ounces from us and 8 million ounces historical from Anglo, which is 20 kilometers away. So that's 11 million ounces. That's world class, without a doubt. Of course, we only own in inverted commas, let's say 3.1 of that. It's going to grow, and you're correct. It will turn into a major mining district because this project, the Twin Hills project, which we just completed our pre-feasibility on, and we are already busy doing the definitive study, which will come out in April next year, will demonstrate a large, long-life, low-cost, quality open-pit mining operation. So we have something very special, and the market hasn't quite caught up on that yet, or doesn't quite appreciate that yet, but it's only a question of time.
And even at today's lower gold prices, we're talking mid-1700s, your AISC, all-in sustaining costs, you're looking $930 an ounce. So this is immensely profitable, even at today's semi-depressed gold prices.
Absolutely. You know what? And just before this call, I looked at the numbers again. I'll give you just a different number, and that's the free cash flow in the first couple of years. Just in the first 4 or 5 years, we have over $700 million of free cash flow. In the first year, $150 million. First 4 years, sort of $130 to $160 million at 1,700 gold. And we have a market cap of 100. So it's a hugely profitable project. It's yes, we need to still spend the capital to build a mine, and that's going to take 2 years from start of construction, but it will become a very significant mining operation, very cash generative. It will become $1 billion company. I have no doubt about that.
I'm pretty optimistic myself. So, as if this wasn't enough, you got a mine license that issued recently with the mining permit virtually assured coming shortly thereafter.
Yes, because reminding your listeners the way these mining projects evolve. Obviously, you start off with exploration, then you do your studies, then you do your de-risking, getting all your paperwork in place, getting your financing in place, and then you start building it. We are busy in that third step. So we've done the exploration. Yes, of course, there's more growth. We've done a lot of studies, and we continue to do more studies to define them better. But very importantly, at the moment, we engage with de-risking the project, ticking the boxes, crossing the T's, dotting the I's, project financing, mining license, environmental approvals, all that stuff. And we've started publishing some of it. Some of those we've achieved already, and some we will achieve in the next 6 months or so. And it will culminate in the publication of a definitive study around April next year. And then, depending on project finance, probably an investment decision more or less middle of next year to actually construct and start building the mine.
Right. Now, I remember roughly 18 months ago, before the most recent economic turmoil, you raised $10 million through a private placement, and then you forced exercise of the warrants, which were at the time in the money, and you raised close to $20 million. Now, being able to foresee upcoming challenges and plan for them, one of the key metrics that I look at in a management. What were you seeing then 18 months ago that basically the market turned? You said, great time to raise cash. Let's do it now. Something was on your mind back then.
We always try to act prudently. Of course, we try to finesse the market too. We want to raise money at as high a price as possible, but it's not always possible. And maintaining a strong financial position is key, and that's why we did it at that time. Also knowing that we were doing lots of drilling, we were drilling with 10 rigs, doing expensive studies, feasibility studies, etc., and that's why we had to do it. We are not perfect, so of course we couldn't foresee the market turn. And in a way, maybe some criticism could have been that maybe we tried to finesse things too much, which resulted in us having maybe somewhat less cash recently than some of our compatriots, but at the same time, we avoided dilution. So I think we've done pretty well. And you would have seen that a couple of days ago, we announced this loan note, which is basically a facility. It gives us strength. It takes away the financing overhang that's perceived often with companies that don't have so much cash in the bank. And so we're in a great position now, and we're just pushing forward.
Right. And you use some of that cash for the acquisition of Ondundu, which, again, has turned into, if this was a normal market, that would be a game changer. But since we're not in a normal market, it's probably going to pay off in the future in spades.
I have no doubt it will pay off in the future. If you look at it doesn't matter what your valuation metric is, whichever way you look at it, we bought that asset cheaply. We were able to quickly put 1 million ounces on the book. It has a lot of growth potential. And we paid less than the cost of discovery for it. So it was a great deal. It gives us the cherry on top for the Twin Hills project that will enable us to get the production rate at Twin Hills, probably from 200 to about 250,000 ounces a year. That's our internal target. And I can tell you, you can look around the world. There's a handful of projects that are near term with these kind of numbers that we're delivering. So we are very, very confident that this will turn into real value.
Yeah, and the fact that the gold is so readily obtainable, compared to many of the other projects out there, where like tons and tons of capex, and you never know how it's going to turn out.
Yeah, we have a couple of key advantages being in Namibia. I often say that to you, especially the North American listeners. It's kind of like being in Nevada. So it's very organized, access to infrastructure. We've got no jungles, no civil wars, no Kalashnikovs, none of that stuff. So it's none of the things that you imagine and that many people associate with problematic places in Africa. We don't have that. So everything is readily available. You said it yourself, metallurgically, the gold is easily treatable. So we just have to go through the motions and conclude the studies, build the mine, and produce the gold, and it's going to happen in short order. So yes, no, it really is a fantastic project.
It really is. And obviously, M&A is kind of dead in the sector. It was always, I read on certain boards, they were always speculating that B2 Gold would be a natural acquirer, but they've got other issues on their plate now.
Look, of course, I cannot talk on behalf of B2 Gold. I agree. I think B2 Gold, being our neighbor, is a natural. There's a natural connection, and it would make a lot of sense for them. As you say, I think they have other things on their mind, but I do think that we have an ongoing conversation with them, so they do know what we are doing, and I do think that eventually that interest from them or others would be there. For now, we're not too focused on it. We're building a go-it-alone strategy. We are totally engaged in building a team, completing the studies, putting in place what we need to put in place in order to build this ourselves. M&A, you can't force it. If it happens, it's great. It happens. If it doesn't happen, that's also fine, because we are on a track here, and we're just going to push forward. I mean, maybe I should just add to it. What has been interesting has, of course, been the deal with Pan American Silver and Agnico Eagle doing a superior proposal for Yamana. So that M&A sizzle has come back into the sector. There's been another one that was announced today, 2 royalty companies coming together, Triple Flag merging with Mavericks Metals. It's another one. So M&A, I think M&A needs a higher gold price, and the gold price is ticking up. So I think for Osino, we've got a perfect storm that's busy building, and we're right in the middle of it in a positive sense. What I mean by that, so with higher gold prices, more M&A, quality project, ongoing delivery. So I think we have the perfect situation currently.
And the longer you wait, the further you move the project along, presumably the higher premium you're going to get if and when that day does arrive.
Yes, of course. For us, the biggest value for the next 6 to 9 months, let's say, lies in de-risking, especially financing, project financing, and crossing the T's, dotting the I's. That de-risking typically results in a substantial re-rating. That's what we're going for. M&A, could happen on top of that. Let's see. I mean, that's in the stars. I can't predict that, and I can't force that.
Yeah, exactly. In a way, you building the mine may be the best thing for your country, for Namibia. With you at the helm, you know that things are going to be done correctly, and you'll get the greatest advantage for your countrymen.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Namibia is a big country with a small population. So our project actually has a very high, there's a very high awareness of our project in country. And so doing the right thing and steering this in the right direction is very important. And we actually quite engaged in that. In fact, I should mention this. We're going to publish our first sustainability report, which deals with what doing the right thing means for us. And that's coming out on Friday. We're very proud of that. And yes, so in that context, we would love to build this project, or we will build this project ourselves. But I'm not against tying up with others because, of course, as a single asset developer, our cost of capital is quite a lot higher than for some of the bigger boys. So we're opportunistic. We always talk to other people, and we try to find the best for shareholders at any.
I always say never. And as far as the relative undervaluation of Osino versus your peers, trading at a percentage of NPV, I mean, it's kind of staggering to see a company trading at such a low valuation.
Yeah, it is, although lots of other companies trade at similar levels. So I guess the entire market has moved down. We've got an extreme valuation disconnect, and that's why I think it is such a good opportunity, because the downside is protected. You've got quality with lots of upside, etc. But it's a reflection of the market. I mean, I just spent in September, we were at Denver Gold and Beaver Creek, so met the whole cross-section of the equity markets. And what's happened is the baby's been thrown out with the bathwater. There's total distrust in single asset development companies because of these capital project failures in North America, whereas in Africa, we don't have the same constraints that you have in North America. We don't have we really don't. We have a lesser inflation. We've got access to staff, access to equipment. So African projects have delivered, but the market doesn't see it that way. But that will turn. I think as gold prices turn, fair prices will turn, and our valuation eventually will fix itself.
Yeah, I think when the average person hears Africa, they say, "Oh," and that just isn't the case here. Namibia being a prime example of a country working properly, better than many countries in the first world here.
Without a doubt. I wish you could come and visit. I'm sure at some stage you will. In fact, we're doing a site visit in next year, February, as part of Mining Indaba, which is it's the biggest African mining event. And when people see it firsthand, that's usually when the penny drops. It's site visits to Namibia are very convincing. So yeah, that's an important way to bring that across.
All right, and hopefully the value is going to be recognized. Like I say, seasonally, it looks like we're in a good time in the underlying metals market, and the stock has gone up as well. So when you see the stocks going up and the metal price going up, that's certainly cause for optimism. And inflation is doing nothing but going up now. So gold becomes an inescapable safe haven.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, the macro backdrop is very, very favorable for us. But there's some particular elements of the share price move also, which is strong Namibian shareholders that believe in me personally and that believe in the project. I told you earlier that this project enjoys a very high profile in Namibia. And there are a lot of wealthy Namibian ranchers, business people, and others that have actually been buying the stock. They are an interesting group because they're far more insulated from the North American equity markets. They don't see all the ups and downs that you see, but they see a real project with a real team, and they say, that's great, we'll be part of it. And they've been buying the stock. That's why we've actually outperformed the rest of the market so well over the last couple of weeks, which I'm really proud of.
Hey, and a wise investor once told me, you really want to find out what's going on with the project, go locally, go to the local luncheonette, go to local restaurants, the stores, see what people are saying about it. And the fact that they're buying is definitely a bullish signal that you would be well advised to take notice of. And Heye, really appreciate your coming on, giving us the latest update. You want to find out more about Osino Resources, osinoresources.com. Sign up for the latest notifications. So hopefully when we hit 5 million, you'll be among the first to know. Ticker symbols in the U.S., OSIIF, and of course on the TSX Canada, OSI, Frankfurt, R2R1. Heye, good luck. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Great. Thank you very much, Kerry. Talk soon.
The Financial Survival Network.